Have you ever lost someone so important that the world never felt the same again? Like everything before that moment belonged to a different version of you. And no matter how much time passed, reality never stopped feeling wrong. This story isn't about Obito Uchiha. It's about what happens when grief doesn't fade, when love turns into obsession, and pain convinces you the world itself is broken. Because when reality takes everything from you, sometimes you don't want to heal. You want to erase it. Here's the brutal truth about pain no one prepares you for. Pain doesn't just hurt. It rewrites how you see the world. When someone you love is taken from you in a way that feels cruel, pointless, unfair, your mind starts searching for control, for meaning, for a reason it happened, for a way to make sure it never happens again. And this is where people split into two paths. Some accept that pain is part of life and learn to carry it. Others reject reality itself. They decide the world is flawed, that suffering proves something is wrong with existence. And here's the dangerous part. When you're drowning in grief, that logic feels reasonable. That's how good people don't turn evil. They don't fall, they break. And from the pieces, they build a new logic where destruction feels like love. Obito didn't start as a villain. He started as the kid no one expected anything from. In a world of prodigies, he was average. In a clan of geniuses, he was slow, always late, always trying too hard, always behind Kakashi, the gifted one. But Obito had two things that mattered to him. A dream, to become Hokage and be acknowledged, and a reason, Rin. She noticed him when others didn't, believed in him when he failed, saw value where the world didn't, and Obito would have done anything to protect her. Then came the mission. Rin was kidnapped. Kakashi wanted to prioritize the mission. Obito refused, because Obito believed one thing above all else. Those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. It was the purest rule he ever lived by, and in the end, it would be the weapon that destroyed him. He went to save her, and in doing so, he was crushed beneath a boulder, his body destroyed, his life ending. And with his last strength, he gave Kakashi his Sharingan, so his friend could live the future he never would. At that moment, Obito believed something simple. Even if I die, my friends will create a better world. That should have been the end. A hero's sacrifice, a meaningful death. But Obito didn't die. He was saved by Madara Uchiha, kept alive in darkness while his body healed. And while Obito waited, Madara whispered doubts. The world is built on suffering. Shinobi are tools. Friends always betray each other. Obito refused to believe it, because Rin was alive. Kakashi was alive. Hope still existed, until Madara showed him the truth. Obito watched as Kakashi, his best friend, drove his hand through Rin's chest, killing her. Not by hatred, not by betrayal, but by the cruelty of circumstance. And in that instant, Obito's belief didn't shatter. It flipped. This world, where Rin dies, where friends are forced to kill each other, this world is irredeemable. And if this is reality, then reality needs to be erased. The problem wasn't the pain. The problem was that Obito refused to grieve. Instead of accepting loss, he rejected reality itself. Madara gave him an answer, the Infinite Tsukuyomi, a dream world where no one suffers, where Rin lives, where pain doesn't exist. To others, it sounded insane. To Obito, it didn't sound like a dream. It sounded like justice. Finally, a world where the random, cruel suffering of a kind girl like Rin was impossible. So Obito became someone else, a mask, a symbol, a plan. He started wars, manipulated nations, killed thousands, all while telling himself it was kindness. But to make the dream possible, he stopped seeing people as real. They were tools, sacrifices, necessary losses. He destroyed families, orphaned children, even murdered his teacher and his wife, all to justify one belief. It's worth it if everyone wakes up happy. This is where love turns into madness, because Obito nearly succeeded. The war began, the world burned, the dream was within reach. But something didn't make sense. Naruto stood in front of him. A boy who had lost just as much, rejected, alone, broken. But Naruto didn't want to escape reality. He wanted to change it. And that terrified Obito, because Obito believed anyone who truly suffered would choose the dream. But Naruto chose pain, chose connection, chose people, chose reality. And in that moment, Obito realized the truth. This wasn't about saving the world. It was about running from grief. The war, the deaths, the dream. All of it was a man who couldn't accept losing Rin. Naruto didn't defeat Obito with strength. He reached him with understanding. "I could have become you," Naruto said. "The pain, the loneliness. I understand it. But escaping into a dream isn't what Rin would have wanted." That shattered him, because Obito remembered who he was. The boy under the mask, the ghost living for a ghost. And in that moment, the two halves of his life, the hero crushed by the boulder and the villain who started a war, finally collided. The kid who protected friends, the one who believed comrades mattered more than rules. Rin didn't die so the world could be erased. She died protecting it. And by rejecting reality, Obito was erasing her sacrifice. So for the first time, he stopped running. He accepted the pain, accepted the loss, accepted reality, broken and cruel as it was. And with what little time he had left, he chose to protect the world instead of replacing it. Not because it brought Rin back, but because that's who she believed he was. If the person you loved most was taken from you unfairly, would you accept the pain and keep living in reality? Or would you destroy the world trying to build one where they never died? If this story didn't feel like just an anime, that's because it isn't. This channel isn't about characters. It's about the battles people fight in silence. Weakness, anger, discipline, becoming someone stronger than your past. If you're building yourself quietly, subscribe. You're not late. You're right on time.